So let's look at some of the learning objectives for this hour. Current practices and tactics adopted in injury litigation, obviously regarding surveillance. Some of the rules relating to admissibility and disclosure. Looking at counter evidence and the approach of surveillance evidence at trial, and what the court has to say in all the leading cases around surveillance. The balance of interest and implications for both claimants and defendants. I have to say that during my almost 40 years career, I spent half my time acting for claimants and the other half acting for defendants, for insurers. So I've been both poacher and gamekeeper over the years. So I think I'm well equipped to give you a balanced view from both perspectives. We're going to look at costs and ancillary consequences briefly, and look as far as we can at some real world considerations in the case law we're going to be looking through. I appreciate when people watch webinars, they're often multitasking and doing things in the background and just want to listen. So I'm going to make sure that all of the content in the slides is verbalized by me, so you don't need to have your eyes on the screen all the time if you don't want to. Let's just move on to obtaining surveillance evidence. Now, this is something that has to be very finely balanced. Obviously, if you do a great deal of personal injury work for the defendant in particular, you will no doubt have a bank of agents that you're used to working with, and that will undoubtedly include investigators and surveillance agents. And if you've got tried and tested agents, then you've got nothing to worry about because you've used them before, you know the quality of their service. You may even know in those instances that when you've had to go to trial to actually prove authenticity, that they're good in the witness box, etc. But it is a very balanced thing. One has to put a lot of energy into finding the right surveillance expert if it's not something you've done before. There is a bit of a cottage industry, I suppose, that exists among less experienced private investigators who hold themselves out to be surveillance operatives. And obviously some less scrupulous private investigators do try and cash in on this area of personal injury litigation. But it can cost you dear because they can sometimes use far from genuine approaches to obviously film the claimant. They can do things on a pretense. They can set up situations to cause the claimant to do something, to film him doing something that actually ordinarily he wouldn't do. It can be a very unsavory affair if you do end up instructing a less than scrupulous surveillance operative.